I believe it was the great Western philosophers Run DMC that said, after 12th grade, I went straight to college. Let's build one. All right, gang, let's get right into it. We need to fill in this little area by our train tracks, and then we need to flip back here and make a little custom college cluster island residential area. I ain't never seen nobody do it. But first, for the fill-ins, if y'all remember back in the secret underground cargo episode, I put this little warehouse right here, and it was taking agricultural goods, like the processed agricultural goods that get delivered to the eco-commercial assets that we got sprinkled around our city. I kept it here. I never moved it, so we might as well go ahead and put some sauce on it, kind of finalize it. I'm also gonna put a couple of little farming buildings. One of them is from the asset workshop, but these little tanks are just vanilla assets that I felt kind of looked farmy. So we're gonna put a couple of those there, a little bit of details, a little bit of parking lot. Speaking of parking lots, man, the space next to it, I really couldn't figure out what to put right here. This is a kind of a busy little junction, so I really didn't want to do nothing too crazy. So I'm gonna build like a non-functional parking lot. This is something like a lot of the builders that I watch will do to fill up areas. No, it's not gonna be working. You're not gonna get to see cars parking right there, but I'm gonna detail it up like it does work, so it looks good from an aerial view, looks good in cinematics. Definitely better than just having a hill, which is what I had. So we're gonna put a few car assets right here, you know, make it look like it's kind of lived in. Nothing too crazy. I want to use this little double office building right here next to the little rail line right behind it. Put a little smoking area out back. Y'all know I like my little smoking areas. Little planners, nothing major. Keep it pushing. We're gonna make this into a Chase Bank. I think I got a Chase Bank logo, and it is an office asset, so that kind of fits. The last little building, this is right here between our little busy shopping street and our train station, basically. I felt like this is the perfect space for something like a Tesla dealership. I actually went and got me some Teslas off the workshop too, just a few. And this little area, which is again right here on the main avenue, business park. I mean, I don't want to use anything that's gonna create a lot of traffic right here in these sensitive areas, because that's where you can see a lot of snarl up and a lot of goofiness, especially with City Skylines goofy AI path, and sometimes the path can be off the chain, man. We all know that. So I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more sauce. The parking lot that I put on this one is gonna be a little different. It's like a one-way, and we're gonna put like a little island of trees in the middle. I felt like that was something a little bit aesthetically different. Sprinkle some of these medical cars around, like maybe they make medical equipment in this building or something like that. But I also like that little bridge over the street. I like that. Gonna sprinkle a few trees around, make sure everything looks spiffy. Across the street where our original underground secret cargo station is with the IT cluster buildings, we're gonna put this underground parking station. I don't want to put nothing too crazy right here because it is something under there, but I think, you know, all in all, that does make this little strip of land that was naked in the middle feel complete. But let's get right into the point of the episode. We had to put a college down here in this part of the city. Off camera a few episodes ago, I did say something about it, but I built like a community college way off in First District, in the old part of our city. But we need something down here, and I definitely wanted to be something fancy. I found this asset on the workshop. It's called a pedestrian university. Now it says City High School or something right there on the little description, but I checked it. It's definitely a college. You can see university. I've never seen this asset. I've never seen anybody use it. Now I'm not going to use it in conjunction with a pedestrian area, but as far as putting it in the middle of an avenue like that, oh, absolutely. So the next thing is really just me getting a feel for how the roads will run on the perimeter. And I'm gonna split a little area off, and I'm gonna make something really unique with this little area right here. But I am gonna finish the road network, polish everything off. I just wanna know where the streets come down into the rest of it. I don't need a lot of, you know, intersections on that main little avenue right there. But we're gonna line up some streets, make sure everything fits around that city key wall and everything's connected, well, at least for the bones of that area anyway. I'm also gonna add a little roof to this. You know, people might get rained on. On the back side, I'm gonna extend out our elevated metro. Y'all might remember we do have an elevated metro, but it's only got like one stop right now that goes to that crazy W hotel area that we built. So I'm gonna extend that out though, and I'm gonna make this the third stop. So you'll be able to kind of see this get connected up to our main little transport hub, and I'm gonna extend that line out. So now both sides of this station will be getting service, and I'll spend a little second right here just putting some surface right here so I don't have to come back and do this later. We'll put like a commercial asset or something down there. So that's pretty much it, as long as it's functioning right now. I just want people to be able to get there, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll do my detailing kind of later on. There's lots of opportunities to put all types of facades and kiosks and things in this little, I mean, for better or for worse, this is the quad area. Now it's super unsafe because it's on an avenue, but I feel like everybody in the city, you know, knows what this college. This would be like MIT being in the middle of your city. You would know, like, bro, you can't be driving all fast right there. You will go to all kinds of jail. So, you know, people behave. They drive through, but it's also definitely a red light right in the middle of it. So you're not driving but so fast. And there's a lot of pedestrian traffic. Again, people in this part of the city just understand. Behave yourself when you're coming through here. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time adding some of these commercial wall-to-wall kiosks. I mean, it is a college. They would have little things like that. Maybe selling tickets to I don't know, that we don't have no sports team. So what, a play or something? Or like a lecture maybe, I don't know. But we're gonna put a little detail underneath the raised metro, the elevated metro. Now on the back side of the opposite side of the school, I felt like let's make this a little quiet study area. Use some planters, a few bushes, some trees. You come back here, you read a book. You know, maybe you and your friends can gather, maybe bust a freestyle or something. Maybe not, because that sounds like a lot of noise. You need to keep it quiet back here. Now, on the opposite side, underneath the elevated metro again, I found this Chick-fil-A asset that I have yet to use in my whole city, so I felt like fusing that together. That's something that would probably be at a metro station. That's kind of high-end-ish. I mean, it might not be fancy to y'all, but, you know, I ain't got baller money. Chick-fil-A is kind of fancy where I'm from. I'm also going to use my Black Rifle coffee asset. I don't think I've got to use this yet in the city. So again, that was given train station to me, a metro station, elevated metro. I'm also going to end up putting something else right there as far as public transportation, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I do want to go ahead and do as much detailing on this specific area as I can because I don't want to have to come back and deal with this later. Next, you're going to see me laying out like a really wiggly, squiggly road network. I mean, it's a cluster island. It's not gridded at all. I want it to feel like the houses they got packed in. Wherever you could fit one is where you put one.
Pause. That was crazy.
I'm also going to connect up some pedestrian paths because if they can walk, they won't drive. And let's make this a district. This district going to be called Northgate. Now, it's not the most northern part of the city we're going to build, but this is the fanciest north part of the city. So let's also tend to business while we're here. We're going to go ahead and put our elementary school down. I think this elementary school is called the Nova City Elementary School. I think that looks super high tech. Also, we're going to have trams in this neighborhood just because I feel like it. Trust me, we don't need them. So I am going to run this tram line to right here behind our little metro stop, and I'm gonna make an elevated little loop piece, and I'm gonna make a little brace piece out of her. It seems like something needs to be holding that up. So I'm gonna spend a little time connecting this up. Now I am gonna do something a little bit different. I'm not gonna use tram roads. I may have did this in an episode of Viridian County, but I'm actually gonna run the tram, but like right next to the road, and I'm just gonna share the intersection node. So you really have to work with the shift and the rotation in your node controller to get this to work. But if you stick with it, trust me, you'll watch that node straighten on out, and then I just fill it in with a little bit of pavement decal just to kind of, you know, fill in those little imperfection areas where the pavement split. I'm gonna run the line. Like I said, it's really just for the aesthetic of having a tram running through the neighborhood. I really don't need. Oh, here it goes. Here it goes, man.
I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke.
All right, we down bad, man. It's the first loan, and we already done took out the 200,000 one, bro. Oh Lord, we got to get it together, but we got to get some more citizens up in here. So let's just keep going. We're gonna add a high school back here. I actually was trying to figure out a way to finesse me a baseball field back here, but the asset just didn't fit. So I think I ended up splitting this parking lot. This parking lot becomes like a drive-through basically, and I'm gonna put a football, not American football, the real football stadium back here. So now we at least have the bones of a community. We need to get some people in here though, man, because if we don't get some people in here, yo, we about to die. Like, you see, I'm running out of money. Like, it is falling out my pocket. So let's get some big condos in. These are the big buildings that I'll have to kind of place everything else around. And I'm gonna just use green cities, tiny cluster homes. I'm stacking them. Oh God, Jesus Christ, bro. Oh, here we go. Here comes the cheese right here. We doing cheese mode, y'all. Tax cheese.
Jeez.
Oh man, I don't feel bad because I know, like I said, it's not a real state of being. This is a temporary problem. If I can just fill up and get these citizens up in here, if I was just zoning big giant neighborhoods, this wouldn't be a problem. But you see, I'm placing these houses one at a time, man. You can't rush this. What I'm doing, I want this to look so unique and just packed on top of each other. It's looking like everywhere there was somewhere to put a house, somebody was trying to build something. Even if it was just a tiny little tiny home, they was trying to put one in there. I am still gonna put some of these bigger condos on this tram line, though. You can see the tram line is like right there on the opposite side of the street. So these condos kind of sit right on it. Couple of Green Cities assets and a few more condos right here on the same avenue as our college. Still packing them in. I don't see any improvement on this money situation, but we're gonna keep going, man. Let's persevere. Let's do some more condos. Let's just throw a whole little neighborhood right here, man. And we're gonna put this neighborhood down, and I'm gonna like detail a park, and then we'll see what happens. Y'all stay tuned. I kind of feel like the statue don't match the area. Like maybe I need to get on the workshop and find something different. I don't know what, but maybe that ain't it. I wanted to add a little bit of commercial right here to these little condos, this little area. I feel like this was a waste of opportunity. So I'm gonna move these condos to the back block, and I'm gonna put like a Oakmont Bakery. Let's do Shake Shack. Say Guitar Center, and I think I got a Krispy Kreme. I think I put Krispy Kreme right there, but it's not a big commercial, no. It's just something to complete it. I'm also gonna put some of these wall-to-wall residential joints back here. We're gonna use a couple of more of those. Across the street at the condos, I'm gonna put some of these facades. Since I can't zone it though, I gotta drag them in. And I'll use spawn points to make the deliveries go to the back. So about this time, I start losing my mind, man, because it seemed like nothing I'm doing is making this budget. Like the budget ain't budgeting. So I start kind of checking around, and I use this condo block as like my baseline. Nobody's moving in them buildings. I'm checking the outside lines. I'm looking around. I'm adding big giant assets that I know will make a bunch of people move into the houses that I laid down. Checking the lines, nothing happened. Checking the condos, nothing happened. Checking in the building, 2, 3, 4, 5 workers, nah, man. So I plopped these buildings again. I'm really trying to see what's the problem. Like I even got so frustrated, I went to the workshop. I'm checking the Rico mod, trying to see is there an update I'm missing? Cause they do be updating stuff and it'll throw you off if you don't download it again. I'm checking life cycle rebalance, everything, man. I'm beating my head against the wall, yo. I'm about to lose my mind and it ain't nobody I can call on to help me.
Stop it. Get some help.
So that's when I says to myself, I says, self, why don't you hook up a highway road? Like none of my roads in my city to this day are hooked up to any highway. Immediately, look at this nonsense. It's a daggone conga line of folk trying to move in them same houses. I knew it wasn't me, so I started all over again. As it turns out, y'all, it was just this one train station. I had to turn it back on, and look at this. Like immediately, this stuff is happening immediately. So I finally waited for all this traffic to cycle out of the way. I don't even know where them people was trying to get to, but good for y'all, y'all made it. So then I turned my main train station on and off, and finally, the people that I was waiting for, they're here. Finally, we can start seeing motion in this neighborhood. So now I'm comfortable going off and do my detailing thing and adding my sauce on, because it would be like, what's the point in even doing any of this if my game is broke? I really thought my game was broke, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Procedural objects is already not working. That's too much for me already. I can't take it. Now over here on my little blank spot on the coast that y'all remember I left this blank. I'm gonna add some of these modern wall-to-wall joints. I'm gonna mix up the colors, red, white, and blue. Y'all know I love me some America. Then I found an asset a while back that I never got to use, but I just feel like this is the perfect area. It's an art gallery. Now, I'm not using it as a tourism asset. I mean, you would never see a bunch of billion people coming, 50 deep to no art gallery. But I feel like this was a really dope detailing opportunity. I can use my creativity up in this situation. So I'm going to use some really small retaining walls, and I went on the workshop. And I mean, I already had a few like graffiti type pieces, but I found some like actual art pieces, and I'm gonna use the retaining walls as like the little display parts, and I'm gonna kind of put them in the little building, and you know, it's gonna have kind of like an art gallery feel, man. It'll make more sense when I'm done. But like I said, I didn't want to have tourists, just a billion people hanging around in there. So with it being an office space, you will see people kind of standing around in there every once in a while. But I definitely didn't want the customary City Skylines busload of people coming in. Not an art gallery, bro. Come on, bro. I mean, Jay-Z ain't there. What are y'all doing? So on the outside, I felt like, you know, just throw a few of these planters, and right there next to this little planter bush, I felt like maybe they gave one guy permission, or maybe it rotates, but somebody's right here selling stuff, man. They selling prints. Maybe you can get an original piece. Maybe they'll paint you on the spot, but I know I'm glad I got to use their art gallery asset finally. Now I started to notice I was having problems with goods in our little pedestrians transport hub, and that's because every pedestrian point in my city is running from that one service point. I think we're making enough money now that we can finally split off and make our own little downtown pedestrian service point. And while I was at it, I felt like, why not go ahead and add a couple of more industrial assets around it, just to even boost how much stuff, you know what I mean? It's a loud area. We can't do nothing else with it. Might as well use some of these industrial evolutions assets. And while I was at that, I started to think, yo, I need to go ahead and add medical clinic. We don't have really any medical in this whole part of the city. And then death care. Jesus Christ, we've been doing all what you have seen off two raggedy asset workshop graveyards. Finally, we have death care and some medical in this part of the city. Now, I'm gonna get into a detailing time lapse, but I was thinking the other day, why do they call it detailing? Like, I bet one person just started calling it detailing and everybody just went with it. It's really decorating. But anyway, let's get to a decorating time lapse. All right, so I definitely was saving our little waterside condos for last. I'm gonna use a technique that I've done before, but I'm just gonna do it in a slightly different way because I've never really done it coast side like this before. I've always done it on little like inlet areas, but I'm gonna use these ploppable docks. I'm definitely gonna show y'all the asset on the screen, don't worry, because this thing only works with these docks. I tried a bunch of other ones before I found it, so it was really making me mad that it took me a while, but I finally got them. But you can see they kind of drag the earth with it. They actually, you know, move the terrain when you put them down. So it lets you make like a little, you know, back area to these buildings that are just solid dock right up against the water. And no other asset in the workshop that I can find does that. I mean, I'm sure you could use a combination of stuff, but I really wanted to look for these. And they got like some little details on them, like little, what do you call them, lifesaver things or anchor or something. There's just little pieces I like. I'm gonna turn some of them the long ways. That way we got space to put some boats and jet skis and, I don't know, personal watercraft of all types and variety. I'm also gonna, let me drag this node right here so everything connects up. Put some of these river rocks on here so the coast kind of looks a little bit more finished. And of course, you know, you can see that water down there. We definitely gonna add all types of surfaces back. Don't want all that water showing through. Yo, my man, he not good.
He a good guy. He smoke rock though.
Man, he's definitely on that stuff, man. My man been walking in circles for a long time, bro. You need to go out there to the weed farm and get off that yayo, but yeah, we're gonna drag a few more of these docks down into place. I also found some cool houseboats. Now I don't know if architecturally these actually fit the motif of Rivergate, especially this part, but I don't know, man. I just be doing my thing, man. I wanted some houseboats down here. They don't function. I think they just deco for as much as I know. And this dock, on the other hand, that little park asset, that is functional. Now, will people use it? I'm not sure. I've been having some weird happenings going on with my dockside assets. They ain't been exactly doing what I wanted them to do. We'll talk about that in a future episode, but let's go ahead and finish off polishing up at least the edges of this. I thought this little grass spot would be good for some detailing later on. I didn't want to just, you know, pavement the whole thing over. But we are going to lay down some like tile looking surfaces and extend out some of these boardwalks almost all the way to the sidewalk. I want you to really feel like you're walking into a unique area. And then I took some of the pieces and some of the same modern wall-to-wall assets, some of the smaller ones, and I'm gonna kind of fuse them to these bare walls because the bare walls just kind of bother me. I'm gonna flip the little variation palette too, and just a few more kind of details on the outside. I want to add a few facades, like a little barbershop right here might fit. This is the one building I couldn't get to go with that little geometric pattern that was on the rest of them, so I just turned it blue since the building was blue, and you kind of don't notice it. Sandwich shop on the corner, one of my favorite assets. We'll put one of these iron chain bollard things right there. For anybody that is wondering about my City Skylines 2 series, I'm still on it, man, but they keep kind of changing stuff, and my OCD won't let me build stuff that I think I'm gonna have to delete. So like where I'm at right now with the last couple of patches they released, I'm gonna probably reverse some of the stuff I've built off camera. Y'all haven't seen it. They don't affect my one episode that's out, but I feel like they've adjusted some stuff that now I don't need some of the stuff that I built, and I can make what I built a little more streamlined. So I do got episodes of that coming. I got one that's filmed, but I just ain't did the voiceover to it yet. So bear with me on that. I'm gonna get it together. Y'all see me working with some boats right now. I'm putting some out on the coast just to make it look like the area's kind of alive. And I'm gonna make like a little boat ramp area, little, I don't know the actual word. It's not a jetty. It's definitely not a dock where you drive your boat down if you're going fishing or something, man. It might be too big or something, but you know, I just felt like I really didn't want to just pavement over the entire area. We can, you know, variation is cool sometimes. So we're gonna throw a lot of grass, some decals, some overgrowth on it. And we're gonna sprinkle a few cars around like it really be getting some use. Like my boy probably be down here taking out the speedboat. He be getting drunk. He be having some broads on there. He be having a good Saturday afternoon. Like get off his back. It's America. I definitely been having more fun playing this game. Like again, that was another part of the reason that I kind of had to take a little break, because I was trying to play City Skylines 2, but I'm like, this is the more fun game. So I was having a whole existential argument with myself, man. That's neither here nor there. We got all our boats in place, everything floating, looking spiffy. I appreciate y'all hanging around with me, man. This was like a longer episode, especially that decorating time lapse. That decorating time lapse got out of control, did it? And yes, I'm still calling it that because I thoroughly believe one person said it and everybody else just went with it, man. It's decorating time lapse. Y'all continue to like, comment, and subscribe. I got the best subscribers in the world. I wouldn't care if it was 10 of y'all. I would still be making this fire. Cue my cinematics.